Hi everyone, welcome to Find Yourself Adventures. Today I am making some gherkin pickles for my husband. I'm not a fan of gherkin, the flavored pickles that you get like at the store, but I'd like to see if we make them ourselves, if I will like them better. So I just picked some onions from the garden. They'd already bent over, so I went ahead and picked those to put into the recipe. And I have my cucumbers picked, so we will work on this adventure. So the recipe calls for 1 pound of gherkin cucumbers. I don't quite have a pound of gherkin size, but I've got smaller ones that I'm going to use. And I'm going to do a variety of whole pickles and sliced, and we're going to see what we like best. So I'm going to weigh this out, and I'm going to put just a little more than a pound because I've still got to cut the ends and clean them. So we're going to see what we like here. This is part of the adventure. We've never done these before, and so we are going to try it and see what ends up happening. And this is what I've got, a little over a pound here of cucumbers, and they're really small. I don't know if you can tell how tiny they are. I got small hands also, but some of them are really tiny. Some of them are a little bit bigger, and some of them I'm going to slice. So this is what we're going to do and see how it turns out. So when I went to make this recipe, I didn't have a few of the ingredients, and some of them I still don't, but we're going to substitute things. But dried tarragon and cloves were two things I did not have. I have ground clove, but not whole cloves. And so I asked my neighbor if she had any, and if she would like to have a jar of olives that we didn't really care for, and she agreed, but she didn't really even need anything because she says I always give her stuff. So she put this over in my door while we were at the grocery store, and it's almost a lifetime supply if we like these pickles. But anyway, I was very appreciative of that because buying just these two ingredients was almost $14 for me to try this recipe. So this was very kind of her. And then she found out I bought mustard seed for my bread and butter pickles, and she said, I wish you would have told me. She said, I have 2 containers of it, and she said that you could have had one. And so anyway, very nice to have good neighbors that'll help you out, and we try to do the same with our neighbors. And so this is going to be part of our recipe. To my mixing bowl, I have added a cup of sugar. I am adding 1 cup of water, 1.5 cups of white vinegar, 5% acidity. The recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of pearl onions. I don't have pearl onions, so I'm using my candy onions that I picked from the garden. It calls for a tablespoon of kosher salt, well, pickling salt, but kosher is the substitute. And I overflowed it just a teeny bit, so I'm not adding any more to that spoon. So plenty there. And then to my jars, I have my tarragon and clove and bay leaves. I have a pint jar and 2 half pints, which equals a quart. The recipe calls for 1 clove of garlic, so I divided it up for the 3 jars. The cucumbers are really small, and I'm cutting them up and adding to the jar. So I have the pickles done, and this is the recipe I used. It's a quick gherkin pickle, and it is by the author of Lord Byron's Kitchen. And I found this recipe online. I won't give you a quick scan of it here, but I will put a link in the description, but just in case they take the recipe down. But I ended up with an extra pint, and I still had enough brine to probably do another 1/2 pint, but I didn't do it. I was kind of done at that point because this is more than I planned on making. And so this is the pickles for my husband, and I'm giving a jar to my neighbor for the fact that she gave me ingredients to be able to make this recipe. So I hope you have enjoyed watching, and if you have, give me a thumbs up, give us a share, subscribe. That would even be better. But we hope you will enjoy our pickle making recipe. I'm going to be doing bread and butters next.